Nottingham Forest still want Renan Lodi to be a Red next year, but this saga is getting so complicated right now. Let me talk you all through it. Welcome to your Forest news. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Whatever time of day you're watching this, hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. In today's video, we're going to try and unravel the mess that is becoming the Renan Lodi or Lodi saga. Before we do that, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Forest Fan TV, and this afternoon at 3 p.m, we will be launching our exclusive interview with the ex-Forest stars, the legends, the local heroes. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you're around then or catch up with it later. Or if it's in the future and you're watching this, hi, welcome to the past. You can just go ahead and watch it straight after this video. Anyway, let's get on with the news and let's talk about Lodi. Okay, so we've touched on Lodi in previous episodes, but this Lodi saga is getting a little messy and it's starting to get me scratching my head a little. Let me bring up to speed with everything that's happened so far. So the first piece of news is that Forest definitely do want Renan Lodi, but as we mentioned in previous videos, they don't want to pay the 30 million euros, which is about what, 27 million pounds loan to buy clause, and they let that expire earlier on. However, the problem is that Atletico Madrid don't really want to lower their price from the 30 million that they tagged. Bear in mind and don't forget that Forest have already spent 5 million on Lodi as a loan fee. And I think that was 5 million well spent for the performance we've had out of him this year. Bring in and bring out another problem in Juventus. And Juventus are looking for an upgrade on their Brazilian left back, Sandro. And who are they talking about? Of course, it's Renan Lodi. So, Juventus are now in the mix. Forest still want him. But the main problem still is, where is Lodi on all of this? It was clear to see when he left Nottingham, or when he played his last game at Nottingham, both at the City Ground and away at Palace. It was very emotional for him. And the signs were there to say that he's actually going back. However, Atletico Madrid don't really want him back in their team. And Lodi is probably going to have to move to get first team football. Bear in mind, another major concern of his is, of course, playing international level at Brazil, the team he got back into about halfway through the season after the World Cup. So having missed out on the World Cup, it shows you the character of the guy, didn't let his head drop, carried on and got his recall later on in the season. Add on to that, there seems to be an attraction with black and white stripes, as there are still links with Newcastle to Lodi. Newcastle definitely will be looking for a left back this summer transfer window, and Lodi is on their shopping list. But how high up? You'll have to ask the Newcastle lot. I don't know, I'm sure Spacebar will tell you lot in the comments. Is Lodi that high up? I don't think the link to them is as strong as the Juventus one, and definitely not as strong as the Forest one. This whole saga is, though, annoying me. Because I'll be straight with you, 30 million for Lodi is okay in this current market. And that's euros. Remember, that's going to be a few million less in pounds. And Forest may have overstepped what they think they could negotiate for him. It was very risky to let the clause die out before they agreed anything with Atletico Madrid. In my opinion, and again, I don't know, this might have happened behind closed doors, but this should have been done before that clause expired. They could have gone to Atleti and said, let's negotiate 20 million or 30 million, but do it in bits and bobs and clauses, etc. It doesn't seem to appear that that has happened. Again, I stress, I don't know. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But to me, that would have been the logical way to do this. And now what's probably going to end up happening is someone is going to pay 30 million or in and around that figure for Lodi. Forest have already spent 5 million euros on him. We may end up without him. Or the thing that will look really silly is if we do end up with him and having paid the 30 million, which was in the clause anyway. And that's where it just gets silly and a mess. Look, I will take Forest having egg on their face if it means that they do pay the money and they end up with Lodi. But bloody hell, man, it's just getting swings and roundabouts here at the moment. And all this and the transfer window still hasn't even opened because it doesn't open till mid-June. You gotta love the transfer window season. The stories are fun, the excitement of players being linked, etc. But for me, Lodi and Hendo are two that need to be done and done quickly. Now, what's interesting, what's really kind of grabbed my attention, and I like this, is that there's been talks that Cooper's come out and said that he wants all his business done in early June. Basically, as soon as the transfer window's opened, get the players in, get them into the squad, and try and have a full pre-season with them. And I think this is fantastic thinking by Cooper or whoever's agreed it with him. The longer you can get with the new players to bed them in now into a team that's been together for a year, the better and more ready they are going to be come the start of the Premier League season. Ooh, there's that P word again, Premier League. Yes, let me go and remind you guys, Forest are still Premier League. So for me, I like this. I like the idea of a club doing its business early. You get the best deals. There isn't the panic from the club you're buying from where they're trying to replace that player like double quick time and panicking at the end of the window and everything. Get the deals done earlier. But more importantly, we had a hell of a lot of transfers even up to the last hour on transfer deadline day coming in. And then you see that bedding in period. And then you see that period where they don't play at all. Barde, for example. Or you see the likes of Aurier, who didn't start for a week or two and then broke his way into a team and then was a mainstay. Could he have made a difference in those few early games? You never know. So I like how Cooper's thinking on this. I think he's got his mindset and having the right approach on it. But I don't like that we let the clause expire. And that's turned it into a bit of a mess. So for me, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Look, I think the majority of the fan base want him. I do think there is a split, however, on how much people are willing to spend on him. I know it's not our money, but hey, it's fun to have that debate. Is he worth 30 million euros or not? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's touch quickly on Morgan Gibbs White, red sensation who feels like he's from Nottingham, to be honest, with the passion he plays, and the disappointment he's had by not being called up to the England squad, where the Gareth favourites FCs have, who some of them, who shall remain nameless, I'm sure you guys all know who they are, have barely touched a ball this season. And they've made the squad. But there is hope for Morgan Gibbs White to getting in the England squad, and it's about game-on-game consistency. And I have to say, as much as I am his biggest fan, I do think there is an element of truth in that. And I do think that's a good thing as well. He is not the finished package. I'm sure he'd admit it himself. He's still very young. But think about it. A player this young performing this well, with, small nurturing changes here and there, it's only going to turn. What's he going to be like in a year or two's time? I think for me, and this may sound controversial, I don't want him anywhere near the England squad yet. I know that's his dreams and everything, and I hope they come true for him. But for me personally, I want him for the next year or so really focused on Forest and having that goal of England there and that bar being set high, and forcing him to raise his game even higher and higher and higher. Yes, I know that sounds selfish from me. Look, if he gets in the England squad in the next call-up, I'd be more than happy for him. But I just like the idea of him being grounded and continuing to work and progress. And the other main reason I worry about it is because how many times over the years have we seen these young English talented footballers get built up through the roof at such a young age, and then eventually it, capitulates into nothing. I'll give you Dele Alli as the example. And I don't want that for Morgan Gibbs White. I would rather he went on and had a really long career with Forest, ideally, and a really long career at England when he's maybe a year or so down the line. But it is his dream, and I hope he does get it. And I think even if he was to get it in the next call-up, he would still be grounded. He would still play some great football for Forest. But I do tend to agree with the consistency comment that came out. And I do think he's been unreal at home for Forest. And I think away from home, that's where he can work on his game a little bit more. However, having said that, that away through ball that he did at Crystal Palace for Owoni was out of this world. So it's good to see that progress is being made. But what do you guys think about Morgan Gibbs White? Do you want to see him going away on international duty? From a selfish perspective, I don't really like any of our players going away because watching their matches on TV, If it's, I don't know, whatever team, Wales or whatever, you're looking at it thinking, I don't care if you win, I just don't want you injured. But that's just my selfish point of view on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. All right, guys, that brings you up to date with the Lodi story, the MGW story. Don't forget, 3 p.m. this afternoon, or later on if you're watching, go now and watch Local Heroes, the exclusive interview we have with the Forest legends. You're going to love it. At least I hope you do. If you've enjoyed the video today and you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Thank you all so much for the support. We've got plenty of content coming up over the next weeks, months, and who knows, maybe even years. We'll catch you on the interview. And come on, you Reds.